There are times where I stumble upon a gaming news story that's so ridiculous, that's so silly, it's hard to believe that it's even real. But today, we're going to be digging into the topic that apparently Electronic Arts is really sad that they're so hated. What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and I want to start this video off with a short trip down memory lane. Now, if you're a little bit younger, or maybe you just weren't paying as much attention to the internet in 2012, something rather remarkable happened, which is that there's this secret group called the Consumerist. Basically, they're a group of individuals who run a website that tries to track down the absolute worst companies in America to make sure that people can make informed purchasing decisions. That makes sense, right? If you want to try and avoid a bad store, you don't go to Walmart. If you don't want to get a bad cell phone plan, you probably avoid Verizon. You know, stuff like that. Well, they also do their own award show where at the end of the year, they pick the worst company in America. And in 2012 and in 2013, back to back, Electronic Arts won as the worst company in America. Now, at the time, Electronic Arts was furious because a big part of the reason they got so much hate is because of just how badly they screwed up Mass Effect 3's ending. It was so funny to watch a company just trying to react to the fact that they were being considered the most devious and awful people in the entire business, but here we are. It's kind of weird to think about that even 7 years ago, we all understood the fact that this company is just so awful, but now in 2019, we're still pretty unhappy with them. No matter how you try and slice it, it seems like Electronic Arts manages to get even more evil as time goes on. But it seems like they're trying to change that perception. They're trying to basically come out and say, hey, Electronic Arts is just a bunch of people. We're just some hardworking game developers who want to make good experiences and cool indie games. But that's not true at all. I mean, we know your public numbers. You're a public company. We can actually open up and look at the record books to see all the nitty-gritty data involving stuff going on at EA. Y'all are a massive company that tries to screw over anybody to make a buck, even your own people. I mean, back in March 29th, they actually fired 350 of some of their best developers just to make some extra profit that quarter. Yes, that's right. They basically ruined 350 people's lives just to make sure that their overall profit went up another %. You don't give a heck of a crap. But now they're coming out and trying to do interviews and just be like, hey, we're just some random dudes rapping about video games, right? Well, some of their people actually went in and decided to do a talk with gamesindustry.biz. And this weird guy named, Matt Bibley actually came out and decided to sit down. He's like the executive vice president of marketing, or one of those weird executive jobs that pays millions of dollars a year to basically just make gaming decisions. And his exact words are, I don't like the fact that we're still considered the gaming bad guys. Matt, I think you understand this, and you're pretending you don't. That reputation does not come out of thin air. You guys didn't just magically get labeled that for fun. You were given the title of the worst gaming company because you guys actually are. I mean, let's just take a step back here and realize that you guys are currently under investigation in Belgium for gambling laws because you were selling loot boxes to children, which is absolutely illegal there. Some of your people may actually go to prison or be fined hundreds of thousands of dollars because rather than remove predatory microtransactions that are targeting children, you're pretending it's not a problem. Right now, you're over in Europe trying to defend loot crates by saying they're surprise mechanics. Everything you guys mess with is objectively worse. Now, something that is going on is that clearly EA is starting to realize that bad PR, their bad public image, is hurting their profits. Their actual overall numbers have been going down the last couple of years, and in my opinion, this is because of the rise of social media. We can actually see and really kind of detect the BS as it's coming. We can talk to each other about the games that are good or bad, or which games we should flat out avoid because we know that they're just going to be despicable garbage. And funny enough, a lot of the despicable garbage is coming from one big camp. Now, obviously, there are a lot of evil companies out there. There's a lot of freaking studios and publishers that'll do anything to try and make another $1 billion. But I feel like one of the things that makes Electronic Arts so uniquely bad is that they practically have a kill count of series they've purchased or developed only to end up ruining down the line. I mean, obviously, a lot of us like to think about Mass Effect and how it started off so fantastic and eventually turned into Mass Effect Andromeda, which is a lackluster mess, but this is only one piece of the puzzle. That becoming such a derided, awful mess is really just a single slice of the corrupt pie. I actually, just for fun, decided to go into my gaming wall this morning, and while I was writing this video, I went through and just started grabbing a bunch of different random stuff that Electronic Arts has personally ruined. I mean, Dead Space, right? This was originally being done by Visceral Games. They were super spooky, they were super great, and now you just decided to liquidate the company. The hundreds of people who poured all their passion into this game don't have a job. What about a fantastic series like Medal of Honor? Yeah, right? Remember when there used to be a bunch of World War II shooters? This is seriously one of my favorite World War II shooters of all time. Medal of Honor Frontline has this epic opening scene where you're actually storming the beaches of Normandy. There's people in the boats around you vomiting with pure fear. It is a game that, while maybe primitive by current standards, was so groundbreaking, they decided to completely abandon this series for years, bring it back as a crappy reboot, and then just fire everybody involved with it. What about Battlefield? Back when Battlefield was great. Remember Bad Company? Where's Bad Company 3? Where's a good Battlefield that's not Battlefield 5 with Battle Royale? You just tried to liquidize this and just fill it with more loot crates. What about Mirror's Edge? Back when you guys used to make games that were tiny and weird and peculiar. Oh yeah, that's right. You decided to destroy it with Mirror's Edge Catalyst. You are the only company that has a giant catalog of games from every different genre and manages to break them one by one. And this isn't even getting into the thing that definitely gets you guys the most hate, which is the fact that you will just sell anything. You'll parse things out, you'll make stupid season passes that have BS content, and of course, you will sell microtransactions for every costume, every thread of my shirt, everything, because you know that you can find a certain demographic that'll absolutely pay it. When we really get down to it, this is the reason people hate you, Electronic Arts. It's not that your games are bad. You know what? I'll actually just go ahead and admit this. A lot of Electronic Arts stuff is fantastic. You guys have the publishing rights to a lot of very interesting franchises, so therefore you have the exclusive permission to make stuff in the Star Wars universe, or big, expansive, cool stuff here and there. I mean, you guys understand and have the budgets to make stuff great, and you're not trying to do it. You're trying to find new ways to re-monetize fan bases, and it's going to end up destroying you in the process. You know, something that's kind of funny is that since you're a public company, we can actually look at all the numbers. We can look at your profits, we can look at your trading, we can look at things like your CEO's salary. Yes, that's right, you have a very creepy CEO. What's his name here? Andrew Wilson. He's this weird robot-looking guy, and Andrew Wilson likes to come out on stage and talk about the future of video games and how they're going to find new ways to sell you football for the 800th time and try and get you to purchase every single haircut in an NBA game with actual money. Well, Andrew Wilson last year made $25 million. $25 million? Oh wait, I actually read my notes wrong. $35 million. Andrew, I'm not saying it's bad to make money. Honestly, I like paying my bills with money. It's fine. I'm saying that you make so much cash by being as despicable as possible. You want to try and sell loot crates. You want to try and remonetize stuff. You want to try and compete with Activision and finding new ways to just put every single paywall into every single game you possibly can. The only thing that's actually stopping you guys from becoming even more evil, in my opinion, is public outcry. At this point, if they could get away with it, I absolutely guarantee you that every single Electronic Arts game would be pay to win. If they could get away with it, I guarantee you, you would be purchasing the game for $60, individual guns for $10, and then maybe even paying to have enemies show up. Electronic Arts does not care about making good games. They understand that making a good game is necessary. In order to sell you a product, the game needs to be at least minimally polished. They don't care about making stuff fun. They don't care about what we're going to be playing. They only care about our pocketbooks. Electronic Arts, I'm glad your profits are going down. I'm glad your numbers are going down. And seeing the huge catastrophe of stuff like Anthem that's costing you millions and millions of dollars makes me so warm and happy inside. You guys have done some interesting projects. I'll actually say that things like Apex Legends really do manage to have a certain level of passion and interesting mechanics in it that I wish they were more successful. You guys actually do things so right in certain departments and then completely wrong in other departments. If you want your comeback story, you need to come back. If you want gamers to love you, you gotta figure out a way to love the games. That's it. There's no magic, there's no shortcuts. It is a long, hard road, but I think that maybe, possibly, you guys can do it. Just actually try. But what do you think? Do you actually think it's kind of funny the fact that Electronic Arts is so concerned with how hated they are, or is this something to you that's just not even worth the time? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. Alright, I'm trying to still mess with the camera a little bit. I talked to my buddy Super Derek. He does like RPG reviews, and he told me a little bit more about how I should set the camera up. I do like this farther out view though. I think it's cool. Thank you everybody for your feedback and help, and I'm going to keep improving, unlike Electronic Arts. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, you know, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.